take 12. GoPro's having some seizures today, apparently. Anyway, what I've been trying to tell you since 6 o'clock, and now it's 7. I went to the Junkyard today, and I scored some parts for the Jeep, for the 93. So here I'm going to roll in some footage of me taking the stuff out of the Jeep an hour ago. Okay, now that that's done, let's take a look at the haul in detail. I have A-pillar trim, driver's side and passenger side, A-pillar trim. Believe it or not, those are hard to find out here in the desert. Intact anyway. I got an unbroken battery tray. Those are hard to find too. These are little fender brackets that go at the bottom of the fender, at the front of the fender, front bottom. It ties it back into the unibody. I was missing these. So I got those. I got a gray seat belt buckle to replace the tan one that's in there. I have a glove box door. It ain't all faded and stuff. I was gonna try to get the dash, the dash out of that particular Jeep. In fact, I got a lot of parts off that Jeep. That was some of the parts I got last time I went to the Junkyard came off that Jeep. Now that dash had one crack in it, so I started to take things out of it and started to dig in to see if I could get it out. And I decided that I would wait and maybe I could score one that didn't have a crack. We'll see. The last thing I got was a complete unmolested center console. This isn't all busted up. This isn't all curled up. It's starting to, but it's still in pretty good shape. It's a little bit, it's not as pliable as I would like it to be, but beggars can't be choosers. This is all intact. This, it's dirty, but it'll clean up. And then, last but not least, I have a new seat pan. And I'll show you tomorrow when I go to put these seat covers back on why I had to buy a new seat pan. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of seat covers, there's a driver's side seat cover. Still a little bit of a stain here, but I just took these off and I threw them in the wash. I think that's probably as good as it's gonna get. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it in there one more time. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to get any better than that. But it's far cry better than it was. Oh my goodness. And of course, the cigarette burns. But these turned out really nice. I like the way they turned out. They're pretty clean. And put those back together tomorrow. And I'll show you why I had to get a new seat pan. But that was today's haul down at the Pic-a-Part, and my friend Martin showed up to lend a hand. Interesting. I got there before he did, and I'm wrenching away, and all of a sudden I hear this little buzzing sound, like a mad hornet. And I look up, and there's a DJI Mavic Air flying around above me. It was Martin. So, anyway. It'll just be a second for you because I can edit, but it's going to be like 14 hours for me. So tomorrow I'll come back out here and we'll look at the seats and I'll show you what I've been doing to the 93 to get it ready for the bed liner coating. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
tomorrow for sure.
Hey, good morning. Okay, I promised I'd show you what I'm doing. So let me show you what I'm doing. So I've taken the door handles off. I'll probably take that off too. Taking the inner door panels off, and I'll put a mask line here and mask all this off in the sill plates, and I'll put a mask line along that black line. Same thing with over here. So I got to sand all this garbage off. Same thing with the roof. Taking all that off. You can see I've taken all the stainless steel trim off, and the reason I did is because originally these were powder coated black, but the factory did not do any prep on the stainless. They just powder coated it, and of course the sun out here in the desert just bakes the stuff off, and it lasted as long as it did. So I'm going to try to remove this powder coat, and I'll probably just leave it stainless, or I'll paint it black. And the same thing with the stainless trim that went around the windshield. That was painted black, and the paint just faded. And I want to replace all these plastic clips because many of them are broken. Things like the windshield wiper blades, those need to be repainted black. Yeah, this just was painted black, so I'll repaint that. And before I put it back on, I'll mask it off. Or before I put it back on, I'll do the coating. I might put this stainless trim back on before I'd actually do the coating, and just tape it off, because I don't want to get the truck bed coating on this. Otherwise, these clips are really, really tight. But also the outer sweeps, the outer window sweeps, the felts, I gotta replace those. This window channel seems to be in pretty good shape, but this one on the driver's side is completely missing, and this one is slipped and is pretty brittle, so I'll probably just replace those. I still need to wait to find a decent dash. This one's really cooked, but I did get a new one of these, so bonus. So that's about it. There's your update on the 93. So this week I'll be doing metal prep. Those little braces, those brackets I showed you last night, these ones right here, where'd you go? These brackets, they go under here like so. Actually, I think this one's for the other side. Anyway, that's where they go. And then that will space the fender out properly, so I can get these lined up. And I got to get a couple screws in through there. And finally, let me show you the reason why I had to get a new seat pan. Alright, in the last video I showed you me repairing the broken spot welds on a driver's seat, and this is pretty typical for an aging XJ in particular, and I think it's probably a design flaw with most Jeep seats, in that the materials that they use are pretty lightweight materials. And if you get a big gorilla, 200-pound plus, behemoth, or just some short fat bastard like me, you jumping in and out of these seats and just slamming your weight in them, and plus you go off-road and you get jostled around pretty good. Given enough time, things are going to fail. Notice how nice and straight everything is. And this is the one I got from the junkyard yesterday, and then compare it to the one that came out of this Jeep here. And the first thing I noticed when I was taking the cover off was that the paint was cleared away from this spot here. I don't know if that was done at the factory. I suspect it wasn't. But then I noticed this crack here. And then that crack continues. Let me cut away some of this foam and I'll show you, since I don't need this anymore.
A few moments later.
Okay. This crack runs all the way through here, comes across, all the way down through here, all the way through here, out through this side, all the way through here, and terminates. Oh wow, it's cracked all the way down to here. Then there's no way that I would be able to weld this back together without destroying the thing. And plus it's, I mean, look how bent it is. So I got this one. So in the next video, I'll be reinstalling some of this stuff so I don't break it, and we'll get the interior put back together. How's that sound? We'll get the seats recovered, get those reinstalled, and we'll see what it looks like then. And then I'll start getting the body ready for the truck bed coating. So if you haven't done so yet, underneath this window is a button that says subscribe. Click that and the bell icon right next to it so you can be notified of future uploads. Check the links in the description for products that you may see in these videos. And if you're looking for some of this stuff, please consider going through one of those links. Or just use one of those links as a gateway if you're going to shop on Amazon anyway. The channel gets a little bit of a commission off that, and every little bit helps. If you found this video interesting and informative, smash that like button and share it with the vast social media network. That always helps as well. Thanks in advance. And until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Right where it belongs.